What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Surprise Jab Podcast. I'm your host, Zachary, your surprise with new topics every single weekend, jabbing you with your daily dose of UFC. And you already know it's that time of year, March Madness. And what are we doing today on today's episode? It's a yearly tradition. We did it in 2024, we did it in 2025, and it's 2026. So we're filling out our official March Madness bracket. That is right, the official Surprise Jab Podcast March Madness bracket will be filled out here today. We're going to go through all 63 games, I believe it is. I think that's how it goes, and discuss who we think is going to win and why, until we get to our official champion, who I have winning March Madness. A lot of fun today. No UFC London predictions, but that will be on the next episode coming out tomorrow as well. With that episode, I'm going to have a movie review. So I did watch one of the biggest hit movies of 2025 finally. Stay tuned to that, but we're all business today. Your official March Madness 2026 predictions. Let's waste no more time. Let's get right on into it. And kicking things off, we'll start off with the East here, all right? You're obviously getting Duke and Sienna. And one thing I'll say is Duke's the favorite. I mean, I want you to look at this right here. 9.3 million people have Duke advancing, and 183,000 souls have chosen Sienna to win. I don't know a lick about Sienna. I mean, they're the Sienna Saints. I honestly have legit no idea about them. Their biggest win, they beat Merrimack, maybe? They lost to the Hoosiers, I should say. And they were able to win. I have no idea how they got in here, but yeah, this is one of the easiest predictions of all of March Madness. I don't think any one seeds are going to upset anyone. Now, obviously, no one has expected any one seeds to ever win. I mean, I'm pretty sure. When was the last one? Was it Purdue? It's been Purdue and Virginia. I'm trying to think. In the past 2 years, one seeds won all 8 meetings by an average margin of 32.9 points. Duke with an easy advance. I mean, I'll hold off on going to the West, but let me just say, I love 16 seeds, but there's just none that are going to win this year. So Duke over Sienna, easy prediction there. Next up, Ohio State, TCU. These are the matchups I love. The 8 seed, the 9 seed. This is where we get fun March Madness, and this is where brackets are busted. So Ohio State, Texas Christian University. Now, fun fact is I actually don't really have a reasoning for going with either of my predictions. I will say is that TCU, when I worked at a farm, the first job I ever had, there was a girl there who actually went to TCU. Now, funny enough, she was in college, and I was like 14, 15 years old working on the farm. So I always found it funny. She was choosing to work for $10 an hour at a farm, but that's beside the point. And as for Ohio State University, one of my mom's best friends, her daughter, who I actually played with growing up when we were both little, she goes to Ohio State. So those are my only connections to both of these universities. As you can see, Ohio State is a slight favorite, but this is a toss-em, a pick-em. When I look at the notable results here, okay, Ohio State picked a win over Purdue, picked up a win over Wisconsin. But look at all the losses, all the big matchups they lost here. For TCU, they beat Alabama, barely lost to Arizona, lost by 13 to Arizona, but to Kansas, they lost by 4. To Arizona, they lost by 13. Holds win over Iowa State, and Texas Tech. Honestly, I'm liking TCU here. I'm going to go with TCU to advance to take on Duke. That's what we're going with here for the men's 2026 March Madness. Next up, St. John's and Northern Iowa. Now, funny enough, my grandfather does this thing every year where he bets on all the 12 seeds, because apparently if you bet on all 12 seeds and all 4 of them hit, you'll be a very rich man. If 3 hit, you'll be a decently rich man. If 2 hit, you'll break even, and if 1 hits, you'll be almost back to even. So I love 12 seeds. 12 seeds over 5 are where you see some massive upsets. I'll say with Rick Pitino's St. John's, last year, obviously you can see it there, looking to put last year's disappointment behind them. They did awful last year, losing in round 1, or it might have been round 2. Did they lose in round 1, or did they lose to Arkansas? I can't remember, but they did not go far at all. And here's what I'm seeing right here. 8.4 million people are picking them to beat Northern Iowa, but we are just begging for an upset here. And I don't know. There's something about Northern Iowa that is just calling to me, speaking to me. Give me Northern Iowa over St. John's. I don't think Rick Pitino is cut out with this St. John's team for the big dance. I love the upsets. Give me a little Northern Iowa action. And who will they be taking on? Honestly, Cal Baptist just kind of screams like that team that would win and would bust all the brackets. I mean, look at that. Only 628,000 compared to 8.8 million for Kansas in terms of the amount of people who have predicted it on ESPN, which is easily one of the biggest sites people are going to be making their predictions on. But, I mean, holy cow. Holy cow. Who to go with? Who to go with is the prime question here. All right. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, I'm going to say... I think it's Kansas. I think we got to go easy Kansas here. I mean, they're big favorite. They've done pretty good, 12-6 in the conference. I mean, wins over Tennessee, Iowa State, Arizona. It's a pretty good team. Actually, the more I look at it, it's a very good team. How did Cal Baptist sneak in here? Oh, it looks like I predicted Cal Baptist. That's not going to be the case. Who did Cal Baptist even beat to get in here? They beat UC Irving. They beat Utah Valley Wolverines. They played the Utah Valley Wolverines 4 times this year. Oh my goodness. They lost to BYU by 31. That's about it. So yeah, gonna go with Kansas. Kansas versus Northern Iowa in the round of 32. Okay. I like that there. Louisville, South Florida. Okay. I love upsets. I can't lie. And for some reason, South Florida is just calling to me. I remember, I don't know where I was, but I was watching a random basketball game. I think I might have been at my cousin's house, and we were placing bets. Okay, we're placing bets, and one of the games was South Florida for some reason, and we bet on South Florida to win, and lo and behold, they somehow won. Now, I don't know a lick about Louisville. They're 23-10, okay? They got Michael Brown. He's pretty good. They've beaten Kentucky, Indiana. They've beaten North Carolina State. Obviously, they haven't beaten anyone. But something about the 25-8 USF, which I'm just rocking with. University of South Florida. And look at that, 3.5 to 5.9, way closer than a lot of matchups here. So I'm going to go with South Florida to defeat Louisville. I gotta get some upsets in here, and this is just calling to me. I'm loving it. South Florida over Louisville. Feed it to me. Next up, who will be playing them? Michigan State, North Dakota State. Now, I don't think Michigan State is that good, but North Dakota has just played literally no one. Literally no one. I mean, look at Michigan State. Kentucky lost to Duke by 6, lost to Michigan by 12, beat Illinois, beat Purdue, lost to Michigan by 10, lost to UCLA by 4. Very close matchups. North Dakota State, I mean, they like, what do I point out? What do I point out here? Drake, they beat Drake. They beat Jacksonville State in a low-scoring game. I mean, I got nothing, guys. Give me Michigan State to advance. A little battle of Michigan State and South Florida in the round of 32. Down here, let me just do a quick one here. UConn over Furman. Furman, I just don't see this. Remember when they upset Virginia with that like buzzer beater type 3? Oh, that was so much fun. But for this, I just don't see it. I don't see it. UConn is just a different breed. I mean, they're 29-5. They are absolute killers. They're minus 4,500 favorites for a reason. Only losses, look at that, St. John's, Arizona, and probably someone else. And what has Furman done? How is Furman in the tournament? How did you get in here, actually? They're 15. They won the Southern Conference tournament title over East Tennessee State. Wow, that's impressive, guys. That's impressive. That'll earn you a tournament bid. Good job to Furman, but no, UConn all day. Here's a close one. UCLA, UCF, it's close. It's really close, but there's just something about this UCLA team. I like it. I like their rhythm. They seem like a good 7 seed to maybe make a run. I got them advancing over UCF. Nothing against UCF. I mean, I don't think anything's going to top Taco Falls. Taco Falls went to UCF, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he? Did he not go there? I don't know. Maybe he didn't, and I'm just speaking kind of crazy. But yeah, interesting stuff there. We're gonna go with who do we pick? Who do we pick here? Bring it back up. We're going with UCLA. Ugh. And next up, we'll go up to the West here. We'll hammer out the West next up. Arizona, Long Island. First off, the Long Island Sharks got to be one of my favorite teams of all time. They're just so goofy, all right? Look at this stuff. Plus 5,000 underdogs. Oh my gosh. Plus 5,000 underdogs. I mean, what's going on here? Arizona is a minus 100,000 favorite. I'm sorry. Minus 100,000 favorite. Are we kidding right now? Look, I get we're sacrificing the Sharks here, but come on, minus 100,000. Is it really that bad? Holy cow, the overall prediction is 100% Arizona win. Well, I guess we can hope for Long Island to get it done, but I don't think they're going to do it. Arizona all day. Villanova, Utah State. I don't think I can pick all the 9 seeds to win, and I'm loving all the 9 seeds. So I think I gotta sprinkle in a little Villanova here. I'm gonna go Villanova. I really just like every 9 seed. 9 seeds are just always gonna be a seed, which always grips me, which I always love. But we'll go with Villanova just because they won the 2016 and 2018 March Madness tournaments. And for Utah State, though, I do like them, though. I do like them 28-6. Oh, they got some killers on that squad, but we're gonna ride with Villanova. We'll steady course with them. Although Utah State is kind of calling to me. No, we stay true. Villanova. Next up, Wisconsin. High Point. Who doesn't love High Point? Who doesn't love themselves a little High Point in the tournament? Now, what is it saying about High Point? 14-game winning streak, highest scoring teams in the country, top 10 in turnover percentage. However, they are in a sizable advantage, or they're in a sizable advantage in transition opportunities and free throws. They hung with Purdue in its tourney debut last year while looking to bust brackets this time around. What did Wisconsin do this year? Let's look. Wisconsin beat Michigan. I think that, and Illinois and Michigan State and Purdue and Illinois. What in the world? Wow, Badgers take care of the ball and shoot efficiently, making them a reliable squad in March. But it's High Point. But I want to pick High Point, but I don't know if I should. I can't be picking every 12 seed. What am I going to be doing down here? Texas Tech, Akron, Vanderbilt, McNeese. Gosh, those 12 seeds just call to me. The upsets call to me, guys. Can I pick both 12 seeds? Can I pick High Point? All right, I'm either going to pick High Point and Arkansas or Wisconsin, Hawaii. All right, I don't want to see a Wisconsin-Arkansas matchup. So I guess I just know upsets don't happen as much as I would like them to. So what else are we doing down here? BYU versus Texas. No, we're going to pick BYU to advance. You already know them. Birmingham Young Boys going to get it done. Gonzaga over Kennesaw State. So we'll go with that. Obviously, Purdue's going to beat Queens. Although if Purdue lost again, that'd be funny. We're going to sprinkle in. Am I picking any other 10 seeds down here? I might pick 1 10 seed. Don't usually 2 10 seeds usually win. Should I have picked UCF? No. We're going to pick Miami. And then you know what we're going to do here, guys? Arkansas, High Point. That is right. We're going to go with High Point because I'm not a Wisconsin fan. I'm a Minnesota guy. All right. I'm like the Packers. I'm like the Bucks, the Brewers. I don't like anything to do with Wisconsin, although their people are quite nice. They're my northern neighbor to the right. But no. We have got to stick it true with High Point, stick it through. And what about High Point? They don't give them any odds, but it's High Point. Who doesn't love High Point? They beat Furman. They beat Furman, and Furman's in the tournament. So what does that say about how good High Point is? So we're going to do that. High Point versus Arkansas, BYU, Gonzaga, Miami, Purdue. I don't even know if I have reasoning for any of that, but that is the upper half of the round of 32. Not the round 32, the first rounds. On to the second round here, or not the second round, the other part of the bracket, I should say. We head to the south. We head to the southern region, and it's Florida versus either, I'm trying to think, Leamington? Was it Laymanton? Or who is this? Who is this? I don't even know, but it's going to be Florida. Why am I even bothering? Florida's going to win here, but Florida is not as good as they were last year. So I definitely think that Florida, might trip up a bit and not make it far. However, I do think they'll win there. Clemson, Iowa. Okay, here's my issue, guys. I love all the 9 seeds. All right, and my cousins go to Iowa. I feel a certain loyalty to them. They're also the favorites, but I've been hearing from a lot of people I should pick Clemson. All right, I was going to say Clemson. RJ Godfrey is the only active Tigers player averaging double-digit scoring at 11.9 points per game. Clemson runs deep with 9 players. Over 300 teams have a higher leading scorer. Wow, Tigers lost 6 of 10 to end the year, which is reason for alarm. But what about Bennett Sturts? Is he good for Iowa? What about Iowa? What do we know about Iowa? Slow pace offense. The team has trouble against tall lineups. Point guard Bennett Sturts lifts the offense as the team's leading scorer, but his shooting percentages suffered as defense is focused on him down the stretch, with Iowa losing 6 of its last 8 games. Not a good look at all. Number 9 seeds are 18-10 versus number 8 seeds. Since 2018, number 9 seeds have gotten the better in Wow, it's a majority of the matchups. Overall, 9 seeds have won 51.9% of the meetings. Okay, so we're going to split here. So I'm going to go Clemson. So since it's like a 50% ratio, it's like a 50% ratio. We have TCU, we have Villanova, we have Georgia and St. Louis. And obviously, I love St. Louis. Y'all got to hear about this guy. Y'all got to know about Robbie Avila. He is going to take over the tournament and just be a stud. So one of the teams I'm rooting for is St. Louis. I'm actively hoping they win. They just scream March Madness. So keep your eyes on St. Louis. Obviously, Michigan's beaten UMBC or Howard. That game's going on right now. By the way, I'm recording this before any of the play-in games have been played because, well, I don't know if any play-in teams. This is the only play-in team I think might win. SMU or Miami, Ohio. That's the only one. But yeah, I guess we're going to go Florida, Clemson, Michigan, St. Louis. Gosh, like, can I pick all the 9 seeds? Like, I guess if I was, like, realistically thinking, like, Clemson versus Iowa, I'm probably going to be rooting for Iowa, but I just don't know if I can pick them, right? And Clemson's made some runs before. Let's just ride out with Clemson. Next up, Vanderbilt McNeese. Uh-oh, the McNeese trap. They're just so pickable. Like, they're just fun to pick, okay? Like, who doesn't love picking McNeese? All right? They got fun players. They play a fun rhythm. And look at their losses to Stephen F., to Michigan, to Santa Clara. What about Vanderbilt? What the frick has Vanderbilt done? They beat Bama, only lost to Florida by 4, blew out Kentucky 2-1 against Tennessee on the year. Oh my gosh, they beat Florida back in March. They beat Florida March 14th. That just happened. And then lost to Arizona in the main game. Holy cow. McNeese, sorry. I guess Vanderbilt's nasty. Holy cow. And yeah, Texas Tech is going to win. So we picked 2 12 seeds. I can shout out 2 12 seeds, but it's the best I can do. Best I can do, guys. Nebraska and Troy. I don't know what it is, but I was talking to my friend Ellie at lunch and my boy Colin, and we were all kind of just talking some ball. And Ellie, she's a Wisconsin fan. Colin, he's an Illinois fan. And they both said that they think Nebraska is going to lose to Troy in round number 1. Now, this is coming from 2 people who I do not think know much about basketball, not to assume about them, but you know, Nebraska started off red hot. Yeah, like I said, opened the season 20-0, but I want to point out somehow they opened the year 20-0. They ended going 6-6. So, what does that say about how they ended the year? Now, as for Troy, what has Troy done? I don't know, but I love Troy Dan. He's my favorite YouTuber. Okay. And what did they do? Did they win anything? Oh my gosh, Nebraska's a major favorite. But I'll say this. I haven't picked a single 13 seed to win. All right, I haven't picked a 14 seed. Let's see, I didn't pick Cal Baptist, didn't pick Hawaii. Spoiler alert, I'm not picking Hofstra to beat Alabama. I guess I got to go Troy over Nebraska. Plus, I actually knew this guy in high school who went to Nebraska, and he kind of like left everyone and ghosted them. And that's my only impression of Nebraska. And plus, it's kind of a boring state. So, Troy over Nebraska for the heck of it. What about these 5 versus 13 seeds? Any lore there? Number 5 seeds are 18-3 versus number 13. Including 8 straight wins since 2000. The only win by a 13 seed was Bradley over Pitt. Wow, interesting. Alrighty, let's wrap up the bottom half of this tournament here. North Carolina, VCU. VCU is always going to be a fun team that you might want to pick in March Madness, but at the same time, it's North Carolina. Like, they're historic. Look at, they beat Duke this year. They beat Kentucky, Virginia, Kansas, Louisville. Now, they're all close games, but they're winning these games. And for VCU, I don't like VCU's odds against maybe like an Illinois, a St. Mary's, a Tennessee, maybe even Kentucky, but against UNC, no. I think UNC can at least advance past the first round of the March Madness 2026 tournament. Next up, Illinois and Penn. I'll let you know. I'll let you know right now. I hope Penn wins. Why? Because it'd be so funny if an Ivy League school won. Right now, mind you, they're plus 2,000 dogs, the Pennsylvania Quakers. But they won. They won the freaking, what's the stat actually here? What's this stat? Since 2017, 3 seeds are 30-2. Oh, well, yeah, Illinois this year. I don't think Illinois is going to make it far. We're not going to go that far, but yeah, Penn, hope you guys do it. I think they beat, was it Harvard, Howard? They beat some other Ivy League team to win. I just think it's funny that Ivy League teams have sports teams. It just feels like all they do is run secret societies and study and stuff and become doctors. I don't know. What does that say about every other school? Jumping over here, since we're kind of just going all over the place, Tennessee versus Miami, Ohio /SMU. Now, obviously, Tennessee's the superior team. They are, but I always like to pick one play-in team. I think one play-in team is always safe to win a game. I don't think last year either team did, but certainly I just don't know about Texas /North Carolina State. I think they could maybe have a good chance, but I'm just going to go with BYU because I always like to pick against BYU, and I feel like they always win at least their first game. And as for the 16 seeds, I mean, let's not be silly here. Neither of them are winning. I think if any team's going to lose, it's going to be Michigan, but I don't think Florida's going to lose at all. So I guess SMU or Miami, oh man, I don't know. The great indecision here. Let's come back to that. Let's go down here. St. Mary's, Texas A&M, another matchup I'm torn on. St. Mary's always finds their way into the tourney. Like I said, little minus 162, plus 136 in favor of St. Mary's for the odds. Gosh, what have they done? They lost to Santa Clara. I cannot wait to pick Santa Clara over Kentucky. Not to spoil alert you, but spoiler alert right now, Santa Clara, I'm picking over Kentucky. I think Santa Clara is going to make a little run in the tournament here as a 10 seed, which does make me believe that I should pick St. Mary's. 10 and 7s, always love picking them. And out of our 4 10-7s, I've picked 3 7s, so lucky number 7. And I got Santa Clara defeating Kentucky. Because I've heard, I'm friends with some Kentucky kids, and they said this is not a good Kentucky team. Remember last year, Rob Dillingham, they freaking got axed right off rip. That was last year, I'm pretty sure. Just not going to work out. So give me Santa Clara over Kentucky, and Kentucky's spell of losing will continue. Now, let's see what else we got here. Virginia, Wright State. Yeah, Virginia. I'm sorry. Wright State. I'll give you a little shout out here. Look at that. 9 million to 484,000. That's crazy. That is absolutely ridiculous. Who did Wright State beat this year? Wright State beats Oakland. Remember Oakland? They had that one fun guy, Jack, something who shot the 3-pointers weird. That's all I know about that. Houston, Idaho. Shout out to Idaho for making it in the men's bracket, but they're also in the women's. And I do like the women's odds better than the men's this year. Iowa State versus Tennessee State. I really like that as a 15 seed upset. I think Tennessee State could be a good option, but I just, I don't know if any 15 seeds are getting it done this year. All right, I definitely don't think Furman. I definitely don't think Idaho. I think it's either Tennessee State or Queens. Queens kind of has that ring to it where they could pull off an upset. I definitely think so. But I don't know against Purdue. Actually, Queens has a tough schedule now that I look at it. First year eligible, Charlotte-based Royals. No. We cannot pick against them. However, I do love picking against Purdue because Purdue is kind of a fraud, if you ask me. But I think they'll finesse their way far. Final round 1 matchup: Tennessee versus the play-in. I got play-in. Let's go play-in. Whether it's Miami, Ohio, or SMU, let's just think they beat Tennessee. That'd be fun. But then again, Tennessee so freaking good. I don't know. You know what? We're going to go Tennessee. No playing teams winning this year. Maybe I should have gone with the other matchup up top here with Texas and NC State, but no, we're just going to ride it out. Moving on into the round of 32, ladies and gentlemen. The round of 32. We'll be kicking off Duke and TCU. Okay, Duke. Okay, I don't know if TCU could pull off a big upset, but I don't see it happening. As well over here, Arizona, Villanova. I'll send Arizona. We don't need to act like they aren't 32-2. They're pretty freaking good. And then we get to our 4 and 12s. Do I really want to send both my 12 seeds? I'm going to come back to these. Going back down to the bottom, Florida, Clemson. Is this Clemson team good? Are they really good? Because I know this Florida team is good. So I think I'm going to send Florida into the Sweet 16. I got North Carolina knocking off Illinois. I'm going to say North Carolina has themselves a nice little run. Houston over St. Mary's. This Houston team is good. All right, runners up last year. They're out for blood. Virginia over Tennessee. I think this Virginia team's having a good year. And Texas Tech over Bama. I like Texas Tech. So let's get down to business here. Okay, we'll throw Gonzaga over BYU. I like that. UConn, UCLA. That's a fun matchup here. That's a really fun matchup. And look at that, 7.4 million to 1.5 million in favor of UConn. Now, what to say about this? Everyone's leaning on UConn. I can kind of get that. Number 2 seeds have won 71% of meetings with number 7 seeds, including an 8-1 mark the past 4 years. Yeah, okay. We'll go UConn here. But who are we sending? We got to send a couple upsets. There's always a double-digit seed in the frickin', Sweet 16. But is Northern Iowa make it? Is Northern Iowa going to be the team to make a run? I don't know. I like to think they will. I really do, but I think I'm going to send Kansas. And I also think I'm going to send Arkansas. That's what I'm going with. I think Arkansas, a little battle of our 1-4s. We'll send BYU. Can I send every 1 seed? No, South Florida. But will South Florida make it this far? Is South Florida even good against Michigan State? They might be. But yeah, we'll go Michigan State to advance. Then here, like Purdue isn't that good, but I feel like Miami also isn't that good. Is this Miami team notable at all? Like I said, not really. Hurricanes want to turn games into a physical battle. Jay Lucas has said he likes when his guards played running back in high school, and it shows. Miami plays into contact and forces you to get on the same level. Lack of reliance on the 3-ball means you're unlikely to see massive blowouts, as over half of the Hurricanes games were decided by 10 or fewer, and 4 of their 8 losses were by 1 possession. Points per game goes to Miami barely. Points per game versus the top 25 BPI rank. Everything's kind of leaning towards Purdue in this matchup. I don't know, guys. Miami or Purdue, options are there. Let's go Purdue. Let's go Purdue. So then I have, oh my gosh, I have all the top seeds advancing. That's kind of lame of me, isn't it? But I guess it works out statistically, just thinking. But let's mix it up down here. All right, we already have Texas Tech and Bama. Can every 1 seed make it? Can every 1 seed make it? I don't know. I like St. Louis. I love this St. Louis team. I don't know why. They didn't even beat anyone really good. And Michigan's obviously an absolute powerhouse. Their only losses are to Duke and frickin' Purdue. No one's really given St. Louis a chance. Number 1 seeds are 76-6 against number 9 seeds, including 14-0 since 2019. The only win by a 9 seed in the past 11 tournaments came when FSU beat Xavier in 2018. Well, I guess that seals it. Send on Michigan into the Sweet 16. I guess I'm going to rely on the stats. All right, Vanderbilt and Troy. All righty. What we got here with Vanderbilt and Troy? Anything fun? Starting the season 16-0. Yeah, we know about that. What are the odds here? What are the odds, right? No one's given Troy a chance. What if I sent Troy through? What if I did it? Okay? I don't think I can. Is Vanderbilt really nasty? But what if they lose to McNeese? Should I have picked McNeese, guys? McNeese seems kind of fun. I don't know here, guys. This is trickier than I thought. McNeese, they just didn't do anything. They're in their first tourney with the school history. They're tough on the glass and will do most of their damage inside the arc. The moment will not be too big for the Cowboys. Honestly, Vanderbilt's kind of lame to pick. Should I pick McNeese and Troy? A 12-13 matchup? Has that ever happened before? Number 12 seeds are 9-3 against number 13 seeds. Last occurrence, number 12 Oregon defeated number 13 UC Irving. Honestly, I'm setting McNeese to take on Florida. Should I? No. Am I? Yes. Why? Because we got to spice it up here. We got to mix it around, okay? Santa Clara, Iowa State, okay. We're getting kind of funky here, guys. So I've got all my 1v4s, 2v3s, and then we have a 1 and a 12, a 1 and a 5, a 2 and a 6, a 3, and is Iowa State just too easy to pick? They just feel too easy. And the Santa Clara team, I'm high on them. I really am, all right? And look at this. Didn't they win? They won. They won the WWC tournament. All right. This Broncos squad is strong. They're powerful. And honestly, frick Iowa State. I'm an Iowa man at heart because my cousins go there. Give me Santa Clara to advance to the Sweet 16. All righty. Our Sweet 16 now. We got Duke and Kansas. Give me Duke. Give me Duke. Well, how do 1 and 4 seeds throw down? Let's see. Number 1 seeds are 14-3 against number 4 seeds in the past 10 tournaments. Look at this. Duke actually beat Kansas by 12 earlier this year. Duke beat everyone, dude. They're so good. 32-2. Duke advance it done. Now Arizona and Arkansas. Here's where we get interesting. Do I like that I have Arkansas going this far? That out of Hawaii, High Point, Wisconsin, I have Arkansas advancing. I don't know. I don't really know if I like it, but I just don't know if I can pick against Arizona here. I mean, they've been really good. They also historically don't make it far, but I'm going to send them through. I'm going to send Arizona to the Elite Eight because why not? All right. Michigan State, UConn. Honestly, I don't even know if Michigan State should have made it this far. I would have rather have had South Florida. What are 2 and 11 matchups if I were to do that? Number 2 seeds are 16-4 against number 11 seeds, but 3 of those losses have come in the past 8 tournaments. What a fun fact. Do I send South Florida? Nah. Do I have Michigan State lose? Honestly, maybe we'll send South Florida in as well. I actually have way too many double seeds. Now we're going to ride with Michigan State. UConn advances. Duke and UConn. Sweet 16 game for the ages. Gonzaga, Purdue. Give me Gonzaga. Give me Gonzaga to knock off Purdue. This Gonzaga team's 30-3. Like, I'm surprised they did not get a number 1 seed, if I'm being honest. Like I said, only lost to Michigan. St. Mary's is a tough one, but yeah, Purdue finally falling. Duke, UConn, Arizona, Gonzaga. Love it. Down here, what do we got? Bottom of the tournament, back in the South, Florida, McNeese. 1 and 12 seeds. A number 1 seed has never lost to a 12. Frick, I'm sending Florida to the Elite Eight. This happens every year, guys. How do I always end up with all the 1 seeds in the final? It should not be the case. UNC and Houston, what does history tell us? Number 2 seeds are 23 and 3 against 6 seeds since 1993. The last number 6 to win was Clemson over Arizona in the 2024 Sweet 16. So it's possible, but Houston's also cracked. Send me Houston. When I got Houston and Florida rematching in the Elite Eight, I love it. Virginia, Santa Clara, and number 3 seeds have won 10 of 12 meetings with number 10 seeds. Last year, 3 seed Texas Tech beat Arkansas in OT. Yeah, Santa Clara. Your run ends there. But as for Michigan and Texas Tech, I think Michigan is fraud. I do not think they played well. Give me Texas Tech and Virginia, a little rematch of the 2019, which I was actually in person for, the 2019 championship game. And I rooted for Virginia. Daniel Hunter, Kyle Guy, a lot of other stars on that team, which I absolutely love, but those are only 2 names coming to mind. So, Ty Jerome as well. Love him too. So, Texas Tech, Virginia, sending them through. So, wow, we have 1-2 matchup, Duke and UConn, 1 and 3, Arizona, Gonzaga, 1 and 2, Florida, Houston, and a 3 and 5, Texas Tech, Virginia. Do I really think this is all going to happen? I don't know. I keep reaching this point and second guessing myself. Now for Duke and UConn, this is a very interesting matchup here. Gosh, senior captain Alex Karabin can win his 3rd national championship with UConn, almost unheard of in the modern age. Coach Danny Hurley's Huskies are one of the tournament favorites with their aggressive interior defense and balanced offense that features 5 scorers scoring 10+ points per game. UConn's offensive passes too well for defenses to key in on just one player, like Solo Ball, Terrace Reed, both averaging over 13. Number 1 seeds have won 6 straight meetings against number 2 seeds, and the last win by a 2 seed was Michigan State over Duke in the 2019 Elite Eight. Wow, isn't that interesting? And I've been hearing stuff that maybe this Duke team can't make it that far. Let's put a pin in that. Do I think Arizona advances past Gonzaga? What does history tell us about 1 and 3s? They've won 16 of 19 meetings. The last win by a 3 seed was Texas Tech over Gonzaga in the 2019 Elite Eight. So Gonzaga will get their get back here. Gonzaga advances to my Final Four, I guess. Okay, Zachary. Should I send Duke or UConn? Honestly, I'm going to send Duke. Gonna send Duke. Let's go, Duke. Get it done. Then we got Florida, Houston. Houston with their get back. I don't want to see Florida repeat. I don't want to see that. I want to see Houston. Do it for H-Town. Do it for Don Tolliver. All right? What is it? Singing Sweet Home Houston, Texas, all summer long, something like that. Good remix there on the new song. And then we have Texas Tech and Virginia. Let's see here. 3 and 5 seeds. Number 3 seeds are 2 and 1 versus number 5 seeds. Wow, this has only occurred 3 times. Last occurrence was in 2011. Number 3 UConn over number 5 Arizona. Well, now it's 15 years ago. History repeats itself. We're going to go with Virginia to advance. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My Final Four, Duke and Houston, Gonzaga and Virginia. What about 3 seeds? When have 3 seeds ever played each other? A pair of 3 seeds have faced off just once when Michigan defeated Seton Hall in the 89 championship game. How has Virginia or Gonzaga wound up being in my championship game here? I don't know about that. Ladies and gentlemen. Where did I go wrong? I had Michigan losing to Texas Tech. Maybe I like Texas Tech in here better. Maybe Texas Tech versus Gonzaga has a better ring to it. Honestly, I think it does. Let me send Texas Tech all the way through, which, by the way, this would be crazy. They would have to knock off Akron, Alabama, Michigan, and Virginia, taking on Gonzaga. Who did I have Gonzaga beat? They beat Miami. No, they beat Kennesaw State, BYU. That's a pretty easy run right there. Purdue, that's an easy run. Arizona probably should be in here. Should I actually go Arizona? Yeah, I don't know if this Gonzaga team's got cut out. I might go Arizona in here. Let's go Duke. Let's go Duke, Texas Tech, man. A 1 and a 5 seed going to town. Number 1 seeds are 44 and 11 against number 5 seeds all time and have won all 3 meetings the past 2 years by double-digit figures. So Duke over Texas Tech, and I got the game going up to 169 points because that's what we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is the official Surprise Jet podcast bracket. Duke over Texas Tech. It's not as bad as last year. I just want y'all to know the bracket last year was so cooked. It was so bad. I can't even remember if we predicted the correct winner of Florida. I think we might have, but I can't remember. But I love Duke's odds this year, even better than last year when they had Cooper Flag. I mean, I really, really love Duke's odds here. And there's always like certain statistics about determines who can actually win. Like it's never failed. And the only two teams are Duke or Michigan. I think this year Duke is a far superior team to Michigan. So that's what we're going to have happen. Honestly, I might make some more brackets, but I like doing upsets. So we're going to lock it in. Duke over Texas Tech. There's your perfect bracket. There is your perfect bracket. Congrats. Your pick to cut down the net is Duke. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The perfect bracket. The only perfect bracket in America. And you were all here to witness it, or to listen to it, however you're watching or viewing this. So, shout out to Duke for getting it done. This is actually being recorded in the future. And I've already seen everything. No, I'm just kidding. We are live. It is currently March 17th. So, good job to Duke getting it done, and that will do it for today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, straight to business. It's your March Madness bracket. We do it every year. It's always a fun episode. And this is the first year I filmed myself, so will it come out good? I don't freaking know. I don't know if it's going to come out good, but I hope it does. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I don't know if I'm going to record myself with film. We'll have to see how this turns out for our UFC London predictions, but we will be dropping them tomorrow ahead of the card this upcoming Saturday, which I'm going to try and watch. I'm going to miss the prelims because I'll be working, but I should be able to catch some of the main card once I get off work, working that overtime, getting that pay. So, ladies and gentlemen, have an amazing one. Let me know who you guys think are going to win March Madness. I'll catch you next time on the Surprise Jab Podcast.